Hello and welcome to yet another tutorial by Davies Media Design. My name is Michael Davies, and in today's tutorial I'll be showing you how to create a cinemagraph. So a cinemagraph is a combination of a photo and a video, as you can see here. And for the photo editing portion I'll be using GIMP, and I'll be using GIMP 2.10.8, which is the latest version of GIMP at the time of this tutorial. And for the video editing portion I'll be using Olive, which is a brand new free professional video editing software, or at least that's what the software aims to be. It is still in the alpha development phase, so it is still under development and they're still testing it out and fixing bugs and glitches and things of that nature, but you can download it and use it, give it a test drive, and so far for me it works pretty well. But of course, before we get into that, I want to direct you guys over to my website at daviesmediadesign.com. As always, we have tons of GIMP video and text tutorials on here, so definitely check that out. You can also enroll in my GIMP 2.10 Masterclass from beginner to pro photo editing on Udemy, or you can support our channel and help us grow by becoming a patron on Patreon, and I'll include a link to this as well as all the relevant links from this tutorial in the description of the video. So Olive, as I mentioned, is a brand new and free video editing software, and you could download it for Windows, Mac, or Linux. Here is the video I'll be using for today's tutorial, and this is one I downloaded for free on Pixabay. You can download this and follow along. Just click the free download button, and you can go with 1920 by 1080, which is what I went with, or you can go with a different resolution here. So let me minimize this, and here is that final cinemagraph. Again, it's a combination of a photo and a video. So it creates a really cool animated effect with only a portion of the actual photo being a video or an animation. So let's go ahead and dive in here to this tutorial, and we're going to start by using Olive. So go ahead and open up Olive, and I'm going to minimize this here and click on Olive right here. So this is what Olive will look like when you open it. So I'll just click OK. What you have to do first is you have to create a sequence. So come over here to this area and right click and go to New and then choose Sequence. And for the preset, just go with 1080p. That is 1920 by 1080 essentially. So that's what we just downloaded our video as, or if you chose something else or are using different dimensions for your video, just choose whatever preset works for you. You can also choose the frame rate of the video here. So FPS is frames per second. 29.97 is essentially 30 frames per second. That's what I recommend going with. Or you could click on that and choose a different preset here. And there's some other settings here. I'm going to keep all those the same. I'm just going to change the name of the sequence itself to Cinemagraph, and I'll click OK. All right, so now we've created our sequence, and you'll notice there is something here called a timeline. This is where our video is going to go. And to bring in our video, we can either click and drag it in here or right click and go to Import. And then you're going to want to go to wherever you downloaded that video, and you could search for the name of your video here in the search box. So here is our milk video, and I'm just going to click Open. So here it is right here. And I can always right click and go to New Folder to create a new folder, and I'll just name this Videos. And we can click and drag this video into the Videos folder, and now we're nice and organized. You can see the frames per second here is slightly different than the frames per second on the actual timeline or the sequence, and that's perfectly okay. You can always create a new sequence and set the frames per second to be the same. This happens to be a slow motion video, that's why it's almost 60 frames per second. But now that we have our video here, I'm going to click and drag it onto the timeline, and you can see that when we do that, there's a yellow box that's going to show up, and that is going to tell you not only where this video is going to go when you release your mouse, but also how long that video clip is. So in this case, this is a little bit below 30 seconds. It's around 27 seconds here. And this object right here is called the playhead. That's just showing you where you are in your video when you're playing this. So you can always scrub the timeline, and that's just allowing you to go to any spot in the video here to check out that moment in the video, or you could play from the playhead at any time. So if I hit the space bar, that is going to play my video, and you can see this is a slow motion video here. And what we're looking for in this video is we're watching the stream coming out of the milk bottle, because our cinemagraph is going to be of this stream coming out, and so we want the stream to be relatively steady. We want it being in the same location for pretty much the duration of the cinemagraph, and we want it to have pretty much the same width as well. So you can see the width kind of varies throughout this clip here. It gets a little bit thicker and then thinner, and it changes location. So we want to find the portion of this video clip where all of those variables are roughly the same. So we could just scrub the timeline here with the playhead by clicking and dragging the mouse, and we can go back and test it out again. So right here, there's a pretty good spot right before the stream gets a little bit thicker there. So if I hit C on my keyboard, that's going to bring up my razor tool, or you can click over here. You've got all your tools right here. So the razor tool is going to allow me to cut the video clip on the timeline here. So I'm going to click on our video clip, and that's going to cut the video right there. And now I'm going to hit V on my keyboard to bring up my regular mouse again, or you could click on the mouse over here. And I'm just going to drag my mouse over this video clip and hit the delete key. And then I'm going to come back, and now our video ends right here where we clipped all the rest of the video off. And so now I need to determine where our video starts. And so right here, I would say, is where the stream is beginning that portion of being nice and steady and relatively the same width. So now I can hit C on my keyboard again to bring up that razor tool, click here on my playhead, and that will only cut our video clip right there on the playhead. And then I can click and drag my mouse. I hit V on my keyboard to bring my regular mouse back up. And so I can click and drag my mouse over this clip, hit the delete key again, and now we have just this short segment of our video. So I'll right click on here and go to Ripple Delete Empty Space, and what that's going to do is just delete all of that emptiness before the clip. And if I hit play on here, you'll see now we have our clip, and the stream is for the most part nice and steady and the same width. All right, once you have selected your video clip, now you need to find the portion of the video that you want to extract as an image. And this image is going to be what we use for the actual photo for the Cinemagraph. So I'll come over here to my timeline and I'll scrub my playhead across the image here. And you'll notice that the stream actually moves a little bit here in this video clip. So it moves a little bit inward right there. So we don't want to grab any of the frames from there. And in fact, we could probably delete that portion from the video. So come back here to the beginning again. So right there is about where it starts to move the stream inwards. So I'm going to hit C on my keyboard to grab the razor tool again and just click right here on my video clip. Hit V to switch back to the regular mouse and click and drag on this clip and hit delete. So that'll shorten our clip almost to, I believe that is exactly 2 seconds there. And now we're going to scrub our timeline once more. And we're going to grab one of these frames that we want to be the main image. So I'm going to go with about right there. So now I'll come over here to the preview window, right click, and go to Save Frame as Image. And that's going to bring up my Save Image dialog box here. And I'm just going to name this Pouring a Glass of Milk, which I already did once before. So I'm just going to click on this. And it's automatically going to save it as a PNG file. So even if you just type Pouring a Glass of Milk without the PNG, you'll see down here this is automatically saving it as a PNG. So I'll click Save, and I'll hit Yes because I did save this once before. So now that we have our image file, we need to open it up into GIMP. So I'll come over here to my file, and here is our image right here. So I'll right click, and you can go to Open With and choose GIMP, GNU Image Manipulation Program. So now we have our image opened up into GIMP here, and what we need to do is add a layer mask to this image because we want to cut out basically a hole in the image where the animated part of the video is going to show through. And so I'm going to do that by adding a layer mask here to my image, and I can add a layer mask by hitting Shift Q. That's going to toggle on my quick mask. You can also hit this icon right here to toggle the quick mask on. And I'll hold Control and zoom in with my mouse. And I'm going to make sure I have my paintbrush tool activated here. And you can click this icon here to switch your colors to black and white. And I'm going to switch my foreground color to white by hitting the X key on my keyboard. And then I'm going to use the brackets on my keyboard to increase the size of my brush here. And I'm also going to decrease the hardness using the hardness slider here. I want this to be a nice soft brush. And then I'm going to just paint right here on the quick mask. And you can see that as I do that, the red portion is going to be painted away. And everything that is not red or does not have a red film over it is going to turn into a selection area once we turn this quick mask off. I can hold Control and zoom in a bit and then decrease the size of my brush, and that allows me to get into the detail portions here. So I'm erasing all the parts of the stream that I want to be animated in this video. If you erase too much, you can hit X to switch back to black and paint some of that back in. And I'll hit X again to switch back to white. I don't want to paint any of this portion here below this line of milk in the glass because I don't want that to be animated. But now I'll hold Control and zoom out using my mouse wheel So we have a rough outline here with the quick mask. Now what I'll do is I'll toggle the quick mask off by hitting Shift Q, or you can also hit this icon right here. And then I'm going to come over here to my main image layer and click on it, and then right click and go to Add Layer Mask. And then under Initialize Layer Mask 2, I'm going to make sure Selection is checked. And I'm also going to check the Invert Mask option and click Add. And that will go ahead and mask out all of those portions of our stream there. I'll hit Control-Shift-A to deselect that. This is obviously a very rough layer mask right now, so we'll clean it up in a bit. But now I'm going to come over here to File and go to Overwrite Pouring a Glass of Milk.png, and that'll overwrite that original image file. Once that PNG file is finished exporting, I'm going to minimize GIMP, and now I'm going to just refresh our folder here that contained that image. So here we have our pouring a glass of milk photo here, and you can see the little chunk right here taken out. So now I'm going to click and drag this over into Olive, and I'll click back on the Olive program to enter that program. So now we're going to click and drag this photo on top of our video file here and release. So now we have our PNG photo on our timeline here. I'm going to hold Control and zoom in with my mouse wheel, and I need to trim these clips so that they are the same length. So I'll hit the C key on my keyboard to bring up my razor tool, and I'm just going to click right here to cut our PNG file right there so it's the same length of our video file. And then I'll hit the V key to bring up the regular mouse and click and drag that mouse over this excess right here and release. And then I'll hit the delete key on my keyboard. So now both the image file and the video file are the same length. And if I scrub the timeline here, let me actually hold Control and zoom out a bit. So if I scrub the timeline, you can actually see that the file now looks like it's animated. Now it's a little bit messed up right here because the stream does kind of tuck in right here. So we'll have to paint that portion out, and then we'll also have to clean up this line right here. So I can come back over here into GIMP, make sure I'm clicked on my layer mask there, and now I'm just going to increase the size of my brush, and I'm going to hit Control Z, let me hit X to switch over to black, and I'm just going to paint a little bit more of this right here since our stream moves into this area. And I'll hold Control and zoom in a bit. We also want to paint out a little bit more of this area. And you'll just have to do this a few times until basically you get your layer mask properly lined up with the video here. I'm not going to make it too perfect just for the sake of time. But now I'll come over here to File, and I'll go to Overwrite Pouring a Glass of Milk, and that'll export this as a PNG to that same file name. And again, you'll probably have to go through this process of cleaning up the layer mask a few times before you get it properly lined up with your video. But for the sake of this tutorial, I'm just going to do it that one more time. And now we're going to move on to the portion where I turn this into a cinemagraph. So I'm going to come over here to the Olive program and just scrub my playhead off the timeline. That usually allows the PNG to update. And I'll come back here, and it does appear that the PNG updated to a degree. Perhaps not, so I can always right click on here and go to Replace or Relink Media and just double click on our file there. That should update the file, and it does appear that it updated there. So again, not perfect, but those of you with a little more time can always spend more time cleaning this up. It looks pretty good. So now what we need to do is we need to make the first frame the same as the last frame so that when we loop this, it's going to loop fairly seamlessly. I mean, it won't be perfect, but we're going to loop it to the best of our abilities to make it pretty seamless. There are two methods for doing this. We can either just duplicate this video, reverse the duplicate video, and that'll just allow it to just loop infinitely, but it will appear as if the video is going one way and then coming back the other way. It can be noticeable in some cases, but let me show you how to do that method first. So to do this, I'm going to click on our video clip here, hold the Alt key, and then click and drag this video out. So we're going to drag it all the way out to the right until that snaps right there, and then we'll release. So now we have two of the same video clip here. And of course, we'll need to drag out the length of our image here. So I'll hold Control and use my mouse wheel to zoom out, and I'll just click and drag this out. There we go. And now all I need to do is click on our video clip here, right click, come over here to Speed/Duration, and then check this reverse option, and that's just going to reverse our original clip. And then I'll click OK. And you'll see here now it says -100%. So now if I scrub through the timeline, you'll see that this will just play all the way through to the end, and then when we get to the end, it'll just play it backwards. And that just allows you to loop this. So that's the first method. And before I export this, I'm going to show you the second method. So let me just delete this clip right here by hitting the delete key. And I'll come back here and I'm going to trim this back to the original length. So the second method, I'm going to click on this video clip again, hold the Alt key and drag this out. This time I'm going to drag this to a timeline below the current video timeline. If you don't have extra space below, if you don't have another video timeline, just click and drag your mouse over these two clips and then drag them upwards, and that'll create a timeline below. I'll hit Control Z because I don't need to do that. So drag this video clip all the way to the end until the end of this video clip meets the beginning of this video clip. And of course, these are the same video clips, so this is going to be the beginning of this here. So what I need to do is click and drag this video clip inwards a little bit. And then I'm going to scrub my playhead so that it is right where this video clip is starting right here. Next, I'll come up here and click on this video clip here. And now we're going to add something called a keyframe. So I'm going to click on this clock icon right here, and that's going to add a keyframe. And I'm going to scrub the playhead up to the end of this clip. And then come over here and click right here to create another keyframe. And now we're going to come over here and set this keyframe to 0. So when I click on this value, it'll bring up this pop-up here, hit 0, and click OK. So now if I scrub my playhead to the end, you can see what's happening, and this top video clip is going to fade out into this bottom video clip here. And of course, this moment right here in the bottom video clip is the same as the beginning of this one. And I don't need the rest of this video clip, so I'll hit the C key on my keyboard and just click to trim that part off. I'll hit V again, click and drag, and then hit the delete key. So that is going to allow this to just fade out right there. So there are our two methods for making this loop appear as if it's infinite with relatively few or no hiccups. And now we need to go ahead and export this out of Olive, and then we're going to bring it back into GIMP. So to do that, I'll go to File, Export. And now I'm going to come over here and change the format to GIF and make sure the range is set to entire sequence. Now I'm just going to come over here and click Export. And it's going to ask me to choose the name of my file. And I'll hit the Enter key, and that'll go ahead and start the export process. All right, so now we've exported our video project to a GIF file. So let's find that file we just exported. So I'll come over here to our file folder, and here it is. So I'll just double click on that. So here's our Cinemagraph file. Of course, we could tweak the file a little bit here and there, but I'm not going to go through that right now. But I do want to clean up the fact that there is a black video that pops up at the end here. So I'm just going to exit out of this. And now I'm going to click and drag this file over to GIMP and come over here and drag it on top of Wilbur right here. That'll open this up as a brand new composition. So here we have all of the frames from our animated GIF, and you can see the first frame is going to be a black frame, so I'll just click right here to delete that frame because we don't want that. And I'm going to drag down to the bottom, and I'm going to delete this background frame as well. So that'll get rid of all the black frames. And you can see each frame has a name here, and then in parentheses it says the amount of time in between each frame before it animates. So let's export this GIF outside of GIMP now. So I'll go to File, Export As, and I'm going to change the name here to Cinemagraph and make sure that says .gif. And now I'll come over here and hit Export. And now it's going to bring up some options here. Make sure you check the As Animation option, and then make sure Loop Forever is also checked. Then down here we have an option that says Delay Between Frames where unspecified. This doesn't really matter because, again, all of our frames have a specified time right here. So they're all 30 or 40 milliseconds. So you can either keep this set as it is or change it to 0. And then I'll just hit Export. And now I'll come over here to my file folder, and here is going to be our Cinemagraph. So I'll double click on this, and now you can see that it fades out at the end there, or if you use the reverse option, it'll just reverse the video back and play it backwards. But either way, this is now looping forever here, and we have our final Cinemagraph. All right, so that's it for this tutorial. Hopefully you liked it. If you did, please check out my YouTube channel at youtube.com/daviesmediadesign. You can check out my website at daviesmediadesign.com. You can enroll in my best-selling GIMP photo editing masterclass from beginner to pro photo editing on Udemy, and you can support our channel and help us grow by becoming a patron on Patreon, and I'll include a link to that as well as all the relevant links from this tutorial in the description of the video. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.